Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, we're going through the Geelong versus Brisbane game, in which Geelong surprised us all. No one saw this coming, I don't think. They won in the end against Brisbane and really solidified the chance for the Hawks to win, and I mean for them to take over top 2 spot, take that home, get the double chance at home, which will be huge. But I'm just intrigued to see how this plays out, because I thought Brisbane were far and away the second best side, because we know that North are the best side at the moment, and I'm surprised that they lost this game, surprised that they really couldn't kick into gear, as well as the fact that in the final 4 minutes, they finally kicked into gear and went bang bang, and really should have kicked the third goal in about 45 seconds, which would have brought it back to, I think, a 6 or 5 point, I think it would have been a 5 or a 4 point margin that they would have brought it back to suddenly. It went from almost being, 22 to 4 points in about 45 seconds. And then they would have had a chance out of the middle to score for the third straight time out of the middle, which would have just flipped the game totally on its head. But in the end, it wasn't a really good game in general for Brisbane's sake, it wasn't a good game, but for the neutral, I guess it was a good game. But anyway, let's just jump into this, and you will see I will rocket through this one, because there are not many fantasy relevant players, honestly, that have scored in this game. So, Nina Morrison, a 94. I mean, she's slightly fantasy relevant, but I still think I'd be going Goering, who has a massive tackle base over Nina Morrison, who scored 94 on 24 touches and a goal. Just isn't able to really get that huge tackle base up. Prisparkas is really struggling to get the disposals hugely up. You can see here she had 10 tackles and only got to an 87. I think that's also partially due to the fact that she isn't scoring any points from marks recently. You can see that she isn't one that really takes. She's taken 2 marks this year, and isn't one to really take marks, as well as her tackles are generally down. But you can see last 2 games, 9 tackles, 10 tackles, but also the disposals are just massively down. She was averaging 24 last year, and now she's down to 18. That's where the gap is, if you're looking at that, to be honest with you, as well as the free kicks are up. But yeah, you can see down 12 points in the kick department, and then also down about 4 points in the handball department. So that is about 16 points, and then down a good tackle and a half in the tackle department, and a mark and a half. So that's another 9 points. So that gets her up to about 25 point gap, which is around about where her fantasy points lie at, to be honest, at the moment. And then you have here as well that the free kick as well is slightly urging that, and that's where the gap lies, I would say. So what do we do about this? And she's one that I think next year she'll just be able to profit out of her being priced at 69, because she's starting to turn it around, I would say. She had a 1 tackle game in the game against the Swans. She got heavily tagged in that game, but when she's not getting heavily tagged, her low is when she's injury free, I would say, because you could tell she was injured in this 39. You could tell she was also carrying something in this 70. So she came back and scored a 96, then a 70, then got tagged for a 46 and has gone 75, 87. I think she's one that next season is definitely a watch. And that's all that I'll say, because I think that I'll probably use more time next year, in about 10 months' time, to talk about her and how I think that she can probably average in the 80s, if not 90s, next year if she gets back to full fitness, if not more, because she has the ability just to really rack up the hill. Crow Grill's 83, Maloney 80. She's been really surprising as a key to get these numbers. 80 is absolutely huge. Maybe one that you can move the likes of a Gabby O'Sullivan to. Bowen as well, 79. Kennedy, 70. I don't know where she's playing and whatnot, but yeah, 70 from Kennedy is a pretty good job in general. Let me just check. Where is she? She's a defender at 398k and had a 32, 16, and then a 70. But she's been playing every game this year and averaged 26, so that came out of absolutely nowhere. So for those that had her and that defender line, you gain 98k cash, and then probably have a really low break even for this week. Parry, 68, Emonson, Webster, 59, so she was one of the defenders that failed. So you sort of had the bracket of Daisy Darcy, Goldrick, Charlotte Thomas, and also the like of Webster and Newman also failed. So you had like the 5 out of the 8 fail, and then 3 just go absolutely off. And of course, I had none of the 3. Sermon, Darby, Scott, Rankin, Gunjaka, Friswell as well, 35. Seems like she's lost a little bit of that role or whatnot and not really getting the non-disposal points that we saw early on this year. Thorne, Bragg, Smith, McDonald, Featherstone as well, injured. I don't know what happened to her, but on 6. And then Manson on 4. Then we go over to the Brisbane side. Mullen, 79. She's really breaking out at the moment. She's top scored for Brisbane twice now in games this year, which is really surprising. Averaging 54.7 and had some CBAs early on in the season with a 20%. I don't know if she's necessarily the build to become a non-baller or whether she'll just become a winger that averages sort of in that 60 range, give or take. But yeah, she's definitely finding a lot more of the pill in general. Then you have Ali Anderson, 78. If we just go to the live scoring here, yes, I need to adjust it for this game. You will see Ali Anderson got off to a flyer and then adjust, please. Change to the next game. Yeah, there we go. Fancy quarter by quarter. You'll see Ali Anderson got off to a flyer and then 41 at halftime and then didn't do much. You can also see that basically all of Mullen's points came in quarter 3. And that was the highest scoring quarter for the game out of anyone, 40. Just shows how it was so evenly split. As well as Evie Long, 66. I'm surprised about this. And I'm intrigued that both the wingers or both sort of the winger half forwards for Brisbane actually scored pretty well. Ellinger included as well, 61. So yeah, there's some sort of correlation almost that they've been scoring really well. Ellinger, Evie Long and Mullins in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Dawes, 64, not really fancy relevant. Savak, Cohen, Savak, and then Conway, 50 as well. So just no one really scoring well for Brisbane in this game, as well as the sake for Geelong. I know, as well as, look at this, Hodder, 45. I know that Dakota Davison got injured on 24 with a concussion, I'm led to believe. Probably Bolt's 23, you know. Even Taylor Smith didn't get on the scoreboard, 28, so she really struggled. Lily Poswaite, 32, struggled as well. Hartle, 43, so I don't know if she made any cash, but yeah, definitely a better trade out in general just to Celine Moody to facilitate more. Well, I think Hartle might have made less cash than Moody, but also upgraded, I guess, in a way, to Hatchard, which would have made more points than Goldsworthy. I think it got me about 40 more points on field, which I probably could have used in another upgrade to actually make more points. But anyway, it is what it is. I was never going to trade out Daisy Darcy. You can never predict a 26 when she was averaging like 75 in her last 5. But yeah, so I think it was probably almost the most logical upgrade. Obviously, it wasn't the most points upgrade, especially with the likes of Bonnie Toogood. That was a fail. But anyway, that pretty much is the video. There's not really much to talk about in terms of Brisbane. Ali Anderson slowing down dramatically. She's finally had a floor game, and you can see that average is now below 100, I would suspect, 103. So it's holding at 100, but it's really starting to flow downwards. You can see that 161 is really holding it up, I would say, in general. You can see, if we go to the just calculator here, 103.4 times by 9 is a 931. 931 minus 161 is a 770. Divide that by 8 is a 96.25. There you can see that average of 96.4 coming in. If you remove that 161 and put it back down, then you can see that is where enough she averages. Which is, yeah, it just shows that 161 is sort of propping her up a little bit, her average, and she's really just a mid-90s scorer. But anyway, that is the video pretty much there. Not really much fancy relevance on both sides. More of a look forward to the future and look forward at the girls in terms of the sort of 20, 21-year-old girls if they're going to take that next step. But anyway, if you did enjoy that, remember to like and subscribe. Turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload. And I will see you guys tomorrow for more game recaps. Bye, guys.